Channel, the Car Guy Channel. My name is Mike Hennessy. This show is all about cars and all four car guys. Get yourself a cold beer. Get yourself a cold beer, guys, because our show is... We are smoking! I'm Mike Hennessy, and you're watching the Car Guy Channel. I have an auto repair shop. I've been in the business for over 30 years. You name it, we got it, we built it, we've done it, we do it. We love this car stuff, and I hope you guys do too. We're going to have a lot of fun, got a lot of stuff cooking, so just stay tuned. Welcome to the Car Guy Channel. We got a great show coming into 2019. We're going to look at some projects we had for 2018 that are just about done for 2019. A lot of really cool stuff out there, and we're getting a lot of stuff finished. And here's a short bit about a lot of projects that we are working on. Sit down, get yourself a cold one, and enjoy the show. You know, car collecting can be a lot of hassles involved in doing this, but one of the coolest things is where we used to store the cars down the street around the corner from our shop, over off the Alameda, there was a building we used, and it was pretty good size. I could probably keep about 40 of my cars, a couple buddies of mine cars in there, but next door was a place called Mondo Burrito. Now here's the quick story, and I'll make it kind of quick, down and dirty. This is the canopy that was at Mondo Burrito, and the only problem that we really had, let alone taking the darn thing, was moving it, and it wasn't that far to do down the street. Stell's going to show you some pictures of this. The canopy, we put wheels on the bottom of it. We put these 10-inch industrial size wheels, and we had to put gussets. Now we left these gussets on here just to give you an idea of really what we're doing before we take them off really next week. We want to put it in the show to show you this crazy car guy thing we did, and we're rolling this all the way down the Alameda, and we did it on New Year's Eve morning. No traffic was out there around the corner from the shop. Everything worked out fine. Took about 7 guys. We rolled it down the street, got it in here, and you see a couple clips of that, but we got to go ahead and cover these cars just so we have a place to put them when there's sun, when there's rain, and all sorts of stuff. So we're able to bag this, and we talked to the people who are actually doing the big teardown and building this huge, beautiful complex down here in Santa Clara, right around the corner from my shop and Fiorello's restaurant. And I'm telling you, this really makes a pretty big plus for what we're trying to do. We'll get it painted, get it kind of cleaned up, but I thought I'd show you a little bit about what we're up to at the shop. Got to show you a few cars we finished. You kind of saw bits and pieces on some of the episodes. This happens to be a 1972 Chevrolet El Camino. This car turned out just fantastic, and the owner himself, Bob, you couldn't be a better person to work for. You came in, stayed on top of the project, and again, I say it all the time on the show, that helps a restorer, a repair person like myself and other good shops out there to go ahead and get an idea really what the customer wants. We went ahead and brought this car down. We stripped pretty well most of it down to almost bare metal, got it into prime, and that really was most of the cost, is getting this body here back into shape. It had rust issues. We polished a lot of the chrome all the way around. We replaced a few of the bumper pieces on them and replaced all the stainless. We actually polished all the stainless all the way around on the car, and we painted the bed with a xylitone, and Estelle's going to get a couple shots of inside the bed here to show you what we've done, but look how straight this is. The cool part is Bob picked out this color. This right here, he went to car dealerships, calls me up, comes on down and says, Mike, I finally got the red that I want on this El Camino. Check out the back of this bed and take a look how straight this car is. You'll be pretty impressed. When building these projects, when you own a car, doing your own car, there's a lot of avenues to go on. And an avenue, of course, is taste. Taste can really change the whole car, desire a color. People went reds, blacks, great choices and stuff. And I really like that Bob went ahead and decided to go with really good quality red. But Bob's a little bit like myself, and it's old school type tires and wheels, which he kept the same rim style. This is what he wanted, was the GM rim style with the beauty ring and the center cap. But raised white letter, BF Goodrich, TA radials. I feel they make the car. I think it makes a really strong statement on it, and it really kind of shows really what type of avenue a guy went on the restoration. So when he went ahead and went this look, this is the look to go for. That works for me on this particular car. Wheels are something that makes a car pops right open. Really, when you look at it, you really see what you got. This to me really makes the car a fantastic look all the way around. Let's check out the inside of here. You got to see what we did. When you do a car like this, or any car you guys are doing at home, there's always these things called hidden cost. And let's just be upfront about it. There's things that are car that some people see, but they don't really understand where that money went or how it's going to go. Door jambs and rubber is a thing that comes into a car that takes time. And there's not a lot sometimes you can do about it if you want the car right. And I really think that shows the quality level of most jobs all the way around. This paint job on the car, I consider, I'm not trying to beat it up or anything. It's not concourse-y showy, but it's better than streetable, and it makes a big difference. And it is a base coat, clear coat car. But if you can see here on the door jambs, we took the efforts, and I always say the attention to detail. We got the rubber stoppers on the door right here, and I think that these are just little things, but you got to find the parts. You got to get them on order. You got to wait a little bit to get them in the mail. Then we go ahead and put on the new rubber on the outside of this door jamb right here. Makes it really nice. New trim molding on the outside here. All the rubber and felts inside the door. That's where the work and the time comes into. You could actually have a whole day wrapped up just into a door on one side of the car, especially if it's an older car. You know, you got all sorts of different things going on. And check out this. New door panels. You got an armrest on there. Replaced the handles on the car. Brand new carpets. We had the seats done on the car. The headliner done on the car. It just made the car really work a lot, but we kind of worked with really what we had. The dash in the car, we didn't replace it. You got to watch the budget a little bit. This stuff can get crazy, and I mean crazy, crazy. We didn't go crazy, crazy, so we tried to keep the budget down the best we really could with the seats, the headliner, and of course, the stuff inside the door. We could have went sealed plates, but we did not. We cleaned up a lot of stuff to kind of keep the car, use what we can if we can, and that's what it's really all about. And Bob has a really good look in 1972 El Camino. Kind of a neat feature on the 72 El Camino is an El Camino with 72s have single lights, not the dual lights. It's kind of a quick, really way to tell the difference between the 72, 71, and then 70, of course, is the lights in the front of the car. But let's take you under the hood. This here I try to say the best for last. This was a very, very smart decision, and I highly encourage anybody to go ahead and do that. Now, a lot of guys would be building these and use cowl-inducted hoods and all kinds of different things and put the SS stripes and so on. This was kind of the flavor that I really thought was a really good idea to go with the car. Let's take a look under the hood here. This right here is a motor that we went ahead and got from our parts department. This is a Chevrolet Crate 350. I mean, it's a factory Crate 350. It's a big difference from some of the crate motors some builders might make. Not knocking any of the builders out there. You guys will do a great job on them. But for some reason, the Chevy motor from the factory of Chevrolet makes it kind of a pretty big difference. And this right here is set up with the serpentine single one-drive belt on it. You can tell it has the Vortec heads on it. This motor here starts up and runs. It's absolutely beautiful. The neat thing is about a crate motor like this, when you go ahead and turn the key and you're ready to start it, you better prepare to listen to that thing run, because it's going to start up and run just like a Swiss watch. It's beautiful. Check under the hood here. We got power brakes, we got power steering, we got air conditioning here. I mean, this thing here is just going to be fantastic. We went ahead and put in new fender wells inside here. Ton of stuff to make this car here hit the road. And this thing's been driving, and it's been driving pretty darn good. Had a little glitch, made a little noise. We went in and cured the noise, cured the fix. Back on the road to go some cruising.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die.
There's a lot of great touches you can do to a car. Some can be expensive and some cannot, and doing what you need to do as far as how your pocketbook lines up. But we replaced the front windshield. We kind of had to, because it was just literally adhered, glued, and whatnot to the car itself. Now, a lot of the General Motors products, some of the Ford products, and some of the Mopar stuff can be a little on the pricey side, but not bad. But a new windshield for this car was not that expensive to put in, and new glass. And if you can put that in the budget, I highly encourage you to go ahead and replace the glass much as you can without the years going on. You know, they get scratches and stuff. If you're going for date coating, like on some Chevelles are very date coated, and definitely the Corvettes are definitely date coated. And these right here are still date coated glass, but it doesn't really make a difference with that. This car here is an automatic. It's a good user. The guy really wanted this particular El Camino, and the values of these are absolutely spectacular. So we had a lot of fun building this thing and coming up with this color. I mean, this right here, this right here is race car hot red. It's a fantastic color and a good job turned out. Let's check out some other projects we got going on in the shop. This project we started really quite a few months ago. It's from my really good buddy, Dan Mountseer. Dan went ahead and really put together a project, him and his son, Will, and of course his wife, Debbie. She was way involved, and I like that a lot. It made a real big difference on it. Will selected some colors. At first, I wasn't sure, but Street Rod World, the car being together, you choose at home. So I'm going to tell you, I think it's fantastic. Good job, Will. And the colors just came out just beautiful on the car. We put in a Dodge 360. Now, this rear happens to be a 1974 Dodge Sport Coupe, which is pretty much the equivalent to what a Duster would be in the Plymouth line. They made just a tad under 60,000 of these, and brand new, these were like $2,500. Yes, brand new. It gets kind of a kick out of an era that we all lived in, figured in the 70s. And 1974 automobile, go down to dealer, write a check for $2,500, and you drive out the door in a pretty cool looking car. This thing really turned out pretty neat with the scoops on the front, blacked out grill on it. It just makes the car really, really nice. And these stripes on the side. Now, Will's granddad kind of helped him put the color together, put the striping on the car. I think they did a fantastic job. My hat goes off to you too, Will, because seeing somebody young like you get into this type of project, I was kind of proud of you for doing it. Let's show you under the hood. That's where all this stuff really, really takes up in a Mopar. Some of the challenge of doing certain cars, some cars, is parts availability. And I don't want to say complaining about it, but I kind of was. But doing a Mopar car, parts are way more difficult than the Fords and the Chevrolets, of course. But being kind of some of the big three that are out there for American-built cars, there's not a lot of aftermarket for this type of car. But we did a great job all the way around on getting what we need. The last time you saw it, none of the stuff was wired in. We have electric fans on here. We had to go through 2 different power brake boosters to go ahead and get the right one to fit. This car here is power steering now. We got power steering on the car. 360 engine rebuilt over in Oregon. And the thing is, I think they were a little bit soft on the cam. Really, for Will and Debbie's taste on the car, they wanted a little bit more beef out of this car. And the big talk about headers. So we went ahead and put what I call a full complete header, which means all the way from the head, that strings all the way down to the lower end of the car. And I think it makes a big difference in the sound. Nice, good sized 4-barrel intake manifold, and we pulled the cam out when the car kit and motor came to us, and we recammed it. We brought it up a couple notches. It makes a world of difference in the sound and the passability, drivability. Everything is great. And some of the neat features are air conditioning. It's a must. It's a must. I had to say, if you got the money, if you got the time and the place, put it in. But there was challenges because of pulleys and stuff that were available to us for a Dodge 360. We were able to go ahead and do some grinding, do some mixing and whatnot, fabbing, but that's what we do. That's what our shop's all about. So we went ahead and made some bracketry and kind of re-engineered a little bit so we have a nice fit. The alternator, there's a couple they sell on the market. What kind of gets me is some of these quick parts that they sell. They say, oh, this fits, bolts in the car, just make a little changes. That didn't work in this particular case. We had to get the exact right Dodge alternator. Now, they do make these now in a higher amp. Before, they did not have this pancake style alternator set up for higher amps. Now they do. So, Power Masters comes up with a lot of good stuff, and you always stay on top of things. So if you got a car, even though you're not going to really buy the part, kind of do a little homework now and then and stay on top of really what's available, what's new, what's out there. That's what the Good Guys show is all about, and that's what really going to Winchester Auto Parts is all about. Winchester does a great job of educating people, lining stuff up for parts, and that's really what a lot of this is about. What's available can make you, really win with the car. And again, attention to detail. Attention to detail to me is extremely important. When you run these cooler lines through here for the air conditioning, we ordered a bulkhead. Now, this is a pretty big deal for this car. Ordered a bulkhead that these go right into for all the hoses. It is a lot more work, but I'm hoping you can agree with me that this looks absolutely spectacular. We got dual electric fans. Estelle's going to get a picture of those. Those look pretty cool. Underneath the hood of this car, I think really makes it. It's blackened out on the bottom. A lot of Mopar cars originally this color here would be on the inner fender wells. We all had a powwow about it and decided the black looks good. And I'm going to tell you, Will, you did a good job, buddy. Check it out.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? Lovers await the break of day. Why do they fall in love?
When when I say there's something you put on a car that makes a car pop, like striping or the right color and the car polished and clean, are wheels. Wheels make these cars. It is really, it's the nail polish. It's what it's all about. When we put these wheels on the car, we could not stop looking at it. I thought it was probably one of the best choices over all the great choices that were done. These right here are a single billet, one piece Magnum 500 rim. And of course, going to the old school, the raised white letter with the BF Goodrich radial TAs, I'm telling you, I just love it on the car. And these are just beautiful. They'll be kept up. I think we'll be able to learn to keep these polished. Nice black in the inside, easy to keep up, good looking wheel, great choice, recommend it highly. All sorts of cars use them. But you guys know what you're doing. That's kind of a neat feature, really.
We try and help the other guys that don't know as much about what's going on, kind of help them to learn more about it, and that's what it's all about. It's learning.
What do you say when a guy says, no, I was at so-and-so auto parts, and the idiot didn't know his butt from first base, and, you know, and then he comes over here, and I guess that's kind of what your guys' claim to fame, though, really, isn't it?
Somewhat, yeah. We, you know, they just haven't worked here, so they don't know.
Well, you guys are finally tapping into the speed market. They're tapping into the custom market, right?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff you guys, you got gauges, you got stuff, you got, I mean, you're tapped. I know it's a little bit of everything, electric water pumps. So since you're kind of in the hot rod theme, so I know you're handling some flathead stuff.
Yeah, we got a few little things. We got some heads, we got an intake.
How did you talk them into flathead stuff?
Well, you know, it's been tough. It's been about 8 years coming, so.
So I had a feeling that you had a little something to do with the flathead stuff.
Just a bit. Trying to get some of that stuff, just to let people know what we can get. I mean, if we have a variety, somebody might, you know, say, hey, you guys stock flathead stuff. How about something for a nail head, or, you know, whatever, you know.
How many customers really like my shop are out there? My shop we build the street rod stuff, the custom stuff we build. How many guys out there are like me?
You know, not too many. They're getting less and less every day.
You're trying to say we're trying to dinosauric, huh?
Yeah, kind of. But I'm trying to bring it back. We're trying to bring it back.
Cool. Hey, we're going to do that. Hey, let's get the rest of the store, guys. Rock and roll.
Cool.
Hey, thanks, bud.
All right.
One thing about New Year's resolutions, I'm the type of guy that really likes to make them work. You can check with Susan because I do write them down. I do keep them. Now, earlier we showed you the tent that we had to move from the warehouse, the cover, all this stuff. Well, I kind of made up in my mind to get rid of or sell or do something from some of the cars that's been in my collection for a long time. Now, we used to use this right here is a 1974 Chevrolet truck 454 crew cab. In the early 70s, these were very popular because they were considered car haulers. They were designed originally for distance. It's a tow truck, but you can take your car from to and from. It was a manufacturer who made them. There's one out of Oregon, and there's one out of Nevada that actually made these. And this right here was kind of what they did in the factory. And I mean, the weight of this is extremely heavy. We have dual wheels on the back. I've had this thing here for many, many years. And I got to tell you, if it blew up today for all the cars that I bought and moved and sold and traded and whatnot, I would have got my money back threefold without a shadow of a doubt. So I told the guys, let's go ahead and fix it up. Let's get it painted and clean it up, do a little retro stuff to it, put my name back on the door because it got a little faded off, put some chrome wheels all the way around on this. Again, wheels, you got to make the car pop. It looks pretty cool. But check it out. We threw some flames on the front, put some pinstriping, got some pearl white on the side, and kind of a pearly blue on it. This is kind of cool. If you have space to have one, I'm telling you, if you're taking cars to and from car shows, it's kind of vintage now. At one time, it was considered really ugly. Now it's kind of ugly, but cool. I don't know what happened. You go on, send me some notes and letters and tell me what you think. Check out the car hauler, flames on the front. Looks pretty cool.
Well, you can rock and you can roll and you can stop and even stroll it at the hop, 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 hop. When the record starts to spin and you chill it, so when you chicken at the hop, 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 hop. Do the dance sensation that's swinging the nation at the hop, 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 hop. Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the hop, oh baby. Let's go to the hop, oh baby.
We just gave you a shot of an early Bronco in the 90s. Now, well, we get commission on all sorts of crazy jobs, and I love it that every car's got a story. This motor and that Bronco has a story. This particular motor only has just a few hundred miles. This came out of a Ford truck, an F-150, with a 5.0 Coyote motor with a 6-speed transmission. Now this is spectacular. What happened was it was a brand new truck coming off a car transporter, moving it around, and it gets T-boned, brand new, never even registered to anybody. So of course insurance gets involved, and the story goes where we're going to be at today. Here's this big beast. This Coyote motor is going to be going into that Ford Bronco. And I want you, Estelle, to go ahead and get some shots of all this. This is going to fit. And the customer's adamant about it. Sam wants this to fit. And so putting this in with this transfer case, this looks like a huge power plant. And not that it looks like one, it is one. Check this out. Everything is virtually just brand new. You can just see nothing has ever, these hoses were only just on just for what I would say hours, literally, when it came from the dealer down over to the wrecker to go ahead and have it removed. And we actually purchased it from the dealer. So it's really a kind of cool process. And you're going to see this as we go. It's one of our projects. Check this one out. Very cool.
Well, I saved my pennies and I saved my dimes. Giddy up, for a ride. Before I knew there would be a time. Giddy up, for a ride. When I would buy a brand new 409.
So when you see this next time, this particular Coyote, I think it's going to catch the Roadrunner, if you know what I mean. One of the coolest projects we got in, my good buddy Mark, on this 1966 fastback Mustang, and there's a great story about the car. Mark tells us all the time. It's kind of neat when cars have stories. When he was a kid, he rode in the back seat of this particular car. Yes, this car. So everybody knows, Mark, that you rode in the back seat of this car. Mark's loved this car here, bought it from the family, and he's been doing all sorts of things with it as time goes on. We've painted it. We've done chrome. We've done interior work, headliner, carpets, all sorts of stuff. And this happens to be an A-code car, which is really kind of cool. But kind of neat, though. What we decided after all the years and time, Mark wants to drive and use this car. So there's a transmission we're going to show you that's on the floor, which is the factory 4-speed. We're going to do a 5-speed, which is the Tremec conversion. So we went ahead and ordered the full package, and we're talking pressure plate, clutch, flywheel, bell housing, and the brand new in a crate 5-speed transmission with the new drive shaft, doing the radiator, doing everything. Mark's going to take a cross-country trip in it. We're going to set this all up, but I thought I'd give a little taste about something that we're taking apart and what we're doing. But let me take you over to one of the wildest projects that we have ever tackled and ever done.
Wise men say only fools.
We call this car here the project of a lifetime. My good buddy Scott's been planning this car here for a long time. We've had it around for a very long time. When I say long time, years, maybe up to 15 years. Different avenues of which way to go on the car, but Scott's taken his business to complete solar. All his vans, all his products and stuff are all electric cars. He's going EV with everything. So if he goes EV with everything and he's still a classic car guy, 1962 Ford Falcon is going to be an EV car. And we're going to show you a couple things on this, but how light they are is going to make it a great electric car. This is not going to be one of those little tiny pushers that only go 30 miles down the road and that's about it, and you take it and have to recharge it. No, this car right here will have Tesla batteries. It has a complete factory BMW 5-speed transmission, custom-made bell housing, clutch setup, all hydraulic, and the electric motor. All fits in this car here, and we have a batch of batteries to go in the front, in the back. Take a look at this Falcon, and then I'm going to show you the power plant that's going to go in. Oh, we kind of tricked you a little bit because we thought we'd show you a couple finished project cars we've been working on. The El Camino, and of course the Dodge, and work we're doing on the tow truck, and of course we got the 1969 Super Bee. But let me just show you that Falcon will be something. This right here is the power plant for it. This right here happens to be the transmission out of a BMW. It's a late model BMW with a 5-speed. Now we had to kind of convert the shift lever. We just set this on here to get an idea. Everything is all custom made. Now keep in mind, this is all fab work. This is all custom made. When you're seeing the car look very rough as it does, this will all go together and it will be a runnable, drivable product. But with the transmission here, this is rubber mounted to kind of help us for to keep out some of the vibration. Even there might be a little bit being an electric motor. This right here is the transmission. It's a 5-speed, as I said. It's a custom bell housing. Is right here is specially made for this particular setup. This right here is the electric motor that's on the car, and it makes a world of difference. And let's go ahead and we're going to check it out. Now take a look at this motor power plant. This right here has enough horsepower actually as a V6 internal combustion engine. These right here can actually pull this car down the road, and we're able to set this up to go nearly 200 miles. Yes, 200 miles with the Tesla batteries. It was a little pricey, but it's the way it's going to be done. You're seeing the car very much in the rough, and we wanted you to see the car that way to show you how this is going to be finished off. It's going to be back on the rack, replacing all the floor pans underneath the car. We've already made all our custom motor mounts for the rear, motor mounts for the front, so this will saddle in really nice. Our batch of batteries is going to be in a nice crate that will sit over this under the hood of the car. So we're going to put a good half a dozen batteries under the hood, and we'll put the rest of the batteries in the bed of it. Be done in a nice big crate holder, tray is what you want to call it. Easy to charge, easy to take care of, easy to maintain. And we're going to be building a cover for the back to protect them from rain, heat, and all the other, elements of what they call the weather is going to be like. So this right here is our electric car conversion. We're going to keep you guys into it. We weren't really sure how this was going to transpire and how it's going to go. Scott, thanks for the opportunity to let us build it. And we got to show you something else we're going, because we got stuff going here all day long. The exciting part about this project on this 1969 Super Bee is that the paint is done. That's the hurdle we always like to jump over. The paint, the body, the mess, all the stuff. It's like a big sigh of relief when we go ahead and get to that particular stage. Paul came down, looked at everything underneath the car. We had a good time. We talked. And he's just great to work with. He has a lot of great plans. This will probably be one of the nicest Super Bees that I would say be on the planet. All the stuff is just going to be fantastic. A little touch-up work and doing the inside on some of the panels. We're going to touch those up because we have a little welding to do, a little things to do for some cross braces. We'll do all our touch-up when we're done with that. But look at the suspension work on the car. Paul went ahead and ordered all the Hotchkiss good stuff. You're talking the struts. We got the lower ball joints, lower control arms. All the bushings have been replaced in here. These custom shocks, Hotchkiss upper control arms, just beautiful on the car. And we're putting all new wheel bearings for the disc brakes underneath the here. And I got to tell you, putting new torsion bars on the car, it's just the right way to go. This car will sit and hold. Now, here's kind of a little bit of the secret of it. We're actually working with a couple builders on this to build a motor, yes, over 700 horsepower. Now, 700 horsepower, we're actually trying to reach that to the back wheels. Car will have air conditioning. It'll have all the amenities you'd really like to have. Christy would like to have that, being a black-on-black car. It's going to make Christy pretty happy driving this car here around. And I'm hoping that she does put the pedal to the metal. I'll tell you one thing. I'll hear about it, which is pretty cool. But we're just kind of bringing you up to speed of some of the work getting done and how this project's going along. Check it out. Super Bee's looking pretty darn good. Finishing some of these New Year's resolutions is really kind of cool, showing you the tow truck and a lot of the projects that we had. And we're going to get all this stuff here done, obviously, before 2019 ends. But some of the neat things we did in 2018, I had the honor to be involved with one of our fantastic veterans that turned 100 years old. His name is Earl Hyde. I flew all the way over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Susan and I did, and happens to be Susan's uncle. Skip is Susan's cousin, and you don't meet a nicer guy, more of a fun guy. Don't go out drinking with Skip because you'll never make it home the next day. We had a great time. And here's a good picture of Earl. Earl has every medal known to mankind from being in the military. He's got the Bronze Star. He's got the Purple Heart. He's kind of got it all. He has the Medal of Honor. He was a pleasure and an honor to meet. The mayor from Coeur d'Alene got involved. We went to the Kroc Center. The story goes on and on and on. It's really not all about the show, but it's all about the veterans that actually take care of us and how this world here works. I want to just take my hat off and thank Earl for just let me host this, and Skip let me host this. We had a great time with all these people. God bless you, Earl. God bless you too, Skip. And everybody who watches the Car Guy channel, I want to thank all of you going along. And Susan, I love you, baby. Talk to you later.